The sky hung heavy in grey, and the sea thrashed in fury. Waves rose like towering walls, slamming against the hull, salt spray stinging the skin. The crash of water on jagged cliffs thundered like war drums. Wind howled through the narrow pass, carrying the raw stench of the sea. And then, through the choking mist, 6 roars erupted in unison, guttural and feral, like the ocean itself sounding its funeral bell. In a heartbeat, 6 sailors vanished from the deck. Blood spread crimson across the waves. Their screams were devoured by the storm, leaving only an eerie silence. If you stood there, caught between crashing waves and that monstrous roar, would you dive into the depths to save your crew, or turn away in fear, because you still don't know what kind of creature could unleash such terror, or why it hides within this deadly strait? The roar you're about to hear is but an echo of an ancient tragedy. To understand the horror awaiting you, we must journey back to where the curse began and where the seeds of this bloody encounter were first sown. Imagine the world when every rock, every whirlpool, was believed to hold a god or a monster. From that world of myth, Scylla emerged. Legends whisper that, long ago, Scylla was no monster at all, but a sea nymph of extraordinary beauty. Her hair drifted like seaweed in the tide, her eyes clear as dawn's first waters. She lived in quiet solitude among lonely rocks, never knowing her fate would soon be stained in blood. In this telling, the sea god Glaucus fell hopelessly in love with Scylla. Desperate to win her heart, he sought the aid of the sorceress Circe, begging for a love potion. But Circe herself desired Glaucus, and when spurned, jealousy curdled into hatred. And when night fell, that hatred became action. Beneath a cold moon, Circe slipped poison into the waters where Scylla bathed. By morning, the nymph stepped into the sea, and her body convulsed. Flesh split open. From her waist sprouted 6 enormous dog heads, shrieking with feral rage. Her screams of terror merged with the roar of the waves, the birth cry of a soul cursed for eternity. Can you imagine it? One moment divine, the next, a nightmare bound to the cliffs. But some say it was not Circe at all, but Amphitrite, wife of Poseidon. Enraged by rumors of her husband's desire for the beautiful Scylla, Amphitrite cursed her, binding her forever to stone and salt. And an even older tale claims Scylla was never mortal, never cursed, born instead from the chaos of the primordial sea itself, a beast with no memory of love, only hunger. Whether nymph turned monster or ancient horror, every legend leads to the same fate. Scylla, an immortal guardian, chained to the cliffs, waiting for the next ship bold, or foolish, enough to cross her domain. But which tale is true? And if you were among those sailors, would you cling to the hope of mercy, or accept the certainty of death? Scylla's visage haunts every myth, the upper body of a woman, but from her waist sprout 6 long necks, each ending in a slavering canine head, claws like hooked spears, teeth like blades, eyes glowing red in the dark. She lurks in crevices of rock, only the heads exposed, waiting. When prey draws near, 6 jaws strike at once, a blur of snapping teeth and splintering bone. Can you picture rowing through the pass and seeing those eyes ignite in the mist? Would you turn back, or whisper a prayer? Across the ages, the Greeks feared and pitied her in equal measure. If she had once been a nymph, each bite was a scream of anguish. If she was born a monster, each attack was pure instinct. That ambiguity, victim or beast, is what makes Scylla unforgettable. Her 6 heads act independently, seizing 6 lives in a single heartbeat. Her body, fused to the cliff, makes her nearly invincible, and she is immortal. No hunger, no age, no death, only endless waiting. Imagine knowing, no matter how fast you row, one of those heads will reach you. It was this terror, this inevitability, that set the stage for one of Greek mythology's most harrowing encounters, Odysseus versus Scylla. For centuries, sailors dreaded the roar of her heads, until one fateful night, legend turned to reality. Odysseus, king of Ithaca and hero of the Trojan War, was forced to navigate the Strait of Monsters, the only route home, yet a passage no one had survived. That night, the sea was black as ink. A pale moon hung suspended, casting silver through the freezing mist. Their ship, battered by endless voyages, creaked under weary hands. The men were hollow-eyed yet alert, for they knew what lay ahead. The sorceress, Circe, who once aided Odysseus, had warned him, "You will face two horrors. One is Charybdis, a whirlpool that swallows ships whole. The other, Scylla, a six-headed beast that will take a life with each head. There is no safe path. If you wish to survive, steer close to Scylla's cliff, and pray the gods are merciful." Odysseus gripped the helm, jaw clenched. The choice before him was cruel: lose a few, or lose them all. The weight of that decision pressed like stone on his chest, but there was no turning back. The ship crept into the narrow pass. Waves pounded the sides, wind screamed through the rocks, and silence gripped the crew. Only the pounding of hearts broke the stillness. Then it came, the sixfold roar. 6 massive heads lunged from the cliffs, eyes blazing crimson, teeth flashing white in the moonlight. They struck like lightning, ripping men from the deck in an instant. One sailor's scream cut short as he was hauled skyward. Blood sprayed across the timbers. The crunch of bone mingled with the crash of waves. Shouts for help echoed, futile, drowned by the storm. 6 men gone. In the space of a breath, Odysseus stood frozen, tears stinging his eyes. He knew, if he turned to fight, all would perish. His hands bled as he clutched the helm, lips bitten raw, and he gave the order, forward. The ship tore through the pass. Behind them, the roars faded into the night, mingling with the sobs of souls newly lost to the deep. Silence returned to the strait, but the horror would haunt them forever. And yet, in the darkness of the cliffs, 6 red eyes still watched, waiting for the next fool to cross her domain. Was she a victim of a god's jealousy, or the ocean's own phantom, feeding on human fear? The legend of Scylla ends, not in redemption, but in a curse unbroken, echoing through the waves to this very day. And if, one night, you hear those roars carried on the tide, will you call it a legend, or believe it's real? Scylla is only one of 2 terrors guarding this strait. Across from her lurks something even more dreadful: Charybdis. If you're as curious as I am, leave a comment and subscribe. We'll uncover its secret in the next tale.